And we are live in the dirty South. Nats man can't make it tonight. He's with family. Mike is iffy. Might drop in, might drop out. You know how Mike is. Let's see.
Come on in, Mike.
Well, he is with his brother's doing it with Papa O and doing Father's Day stuff. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, biological and non-biological. I always like to include that because some people are father figures, and we like to remember them as well. And also remember the fathers that are no longer with us. I have quite a few of those in my life too. We're at that age now where that seems to be an ongoing thing. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And as you can see, probably don't need any introduction. We have Snoop.
Connection or your connection?
My connection seems to be good.
Let's see.
I hear you.
Okay, you're back.
Oh, I was out. Okay.
Yeah, you were out.
Hopefully we're good. Lou Rock said everything looks good. So I'm happy to have first time on here Snoop. Me and Snoop have tried to connect at Chantilly. Didn't work out. That's going to be. He lives that way. I go up there for those. But man, it's funny. We got to talking on the phone, and it was like we've known each other forever. Seems that way in this hobby. Welcome to the show, Snoop. How you doing?
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, doing great. We've been trying for years to catch up at Chantilly.
Yeah, it seems like a thing. And we're there. We just miss each other.
Yeah. I guess a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people hear Chantilly and think, it's not a big show. But especially now that they've rearranged everything and opened up that other area, you can really go through there and never see people. Let's see, you were there. Quite a few other YouTubers were there, and never even saw them.
Right.
I forgot his name. He was filming, and I never saw him there either. It's weird.
Was that Ryan? What's his name? What's his YouTube? Goes to all the shows, a lot of shows. I think he was there.
Ryan was there.
Bobbles. Baseball card collector ended up being there on Sunday.
Yeah, Bobbles I missed. And I actually talked to Mike on the phone, and he asked me, was I going to make it Sunday? And Sundays typically I'm at work. But baseball collector, investor, dealer, in that order, he was there. I did see Enough Said cards. Okay. And we just happened to run into each other there.
See, I could run into him. I don't know what he looks like. And supposedly Mike said I met him at one of the shows. And all I know is his hands. I want to take a picture of just me and his hands. Because that's all you see.
Yeah. And that's what's to me so important about the meet and greet, especially the one I know Mike's doing a YouTube meet and greet at National, because a lot of people that don't show their faces, we'll hear the voice and we know them. We know the channel, but you never see them in person. You never see their face.
Yeah. I see Dr. Exclusive on here. He just wanted how great this community is. Three River, I got your care package this week. Thank you so much. I'll be going over that this week. You guys are awesome community. But Doctor, I did buy a couple of those cards. I bought telling Snoop about it. I did buy a Oh, here we go, Mr. Drop a Lot. I did buy a Flintstones card, one Flintstones card, and 2 Mickey Mouse cards.
There he is.
Yeah, we
Mr.
got Mike.
I'm here for a few minutes. I can't
That's fine.
probably stay long. I'm at my brother's. I know this is nothing compared to Snoop, but I don't know. I just happened to walk by my brother's boat, and I was like, I got to call in, you know, with Snoop here.
We got to find some Peanuts cards.
Peanuts cards. That's where it's at. That's a thing right now. Is those Peanuts cards? Bought some Swedish cards today, Mike. Cards from Sweden, non-sports.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Got
I have to send them.
find.
Got to diversify
Need a
the
Franklin
collection.
card. Oh,
yeah. That would be nice. Yeah, it'd be right up your alley. So Papa O with you today, Mike?
Yeah. He's I don't know what he's doing right now. He was playing with his granddaughter a lot today. So
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
we were watching Phillies A's. Phil's pulling off the sweep, so it was, you know, a nice day.
Yeah. Yeah. The Mets lost to the Cardinals today, and UVA got knocked out of the World Series.
Oh,
Not a good day.
disappointing.
Yeah. Well, it looks like wherever you're at now, you got better reception than you do when you're walking around in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know why. And I mean, there ain't nothing around here. So I mean,
I feel like you're back in Iowa where I was living at there. Wow. Well, back to Snoop. Snoop, I see you. Me and you've been talking. You've been doing a lot of autograph hunting. That's where you're at Chantilly. Chantilly, now the autographs in a whole different room. That's why we were missing each other. Oh, we got the puppy-o. So is that where you're more going into now, is the autographs, or is that just an addition to what else you're doing, Snoop? Can you hear me, Snoop?
looks like Snoop is frozen.
I can see him typing.
I don't know.
give me 1 second, Scott. I'm sending a message.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's coming up. Yeah, I just sent you a message. I'm gonna come right back. Let me give it this second.
Okay.
We'll entertain everyone with some chickens.
There you go. And now on to the chicken show. We're going to do the chicken dance.
Now the dog is going to go bark at the chickens.
There you go. Chicken O's and dog puppy-o. So, have you been there all weekend, or you just go there today?
No, I was just here today.
Okay.
Been here for a few hours. Yeah, it's just sometimes you gotta make sure you take time to hang out with people. It's very easy in life to get distracted and to work, and like I know I'm someone who just gets over involved in way too many things, and you have that 48-hour schedule you're trying to squeeze into 24. And I feel like the hobby can be that way as well, right? You can just become infatuated and obsessed with it. And I know we talk about it a lot, how we're obviously obsessed with the hobby, opening packs, buying cards, reading about cards, watching videos about cards, listening to podcasts about cards. So sometimes you got to get away for a little bit.
Right.
But if you're not, getting away from it, you can always check out Mike Oak Card Shop, the sponsor of this video. 15% off today and tomorrow, Father's Day special.
Oh, nice. Hey, one other thing. How much Don Ross have you bought?
This year's Donruss? I'm still waiting to get my first pack.
Nice way to slide a plug in there, Mike.
Here and there.
Yeah, you like that, didn't you? Mike O Card Shop. I do. I got a large stack over here from the Mike O Card Shop. That's something I'll talk about later this week. I touched on yesterday in the video. I just want to retouch. If anybody watched my video yesterday, I'm okay. I'm in a good place. It was just some things hit me this week. And talking to my family, it kind of extended some of that. going to stores and not seeing people out. It was kind of a little nerve-wracking to me. And
that was the video I have on my watch later list. I was like, I gotta watch this one.
Yeah, so if you watch it, don't worry about me. I'm okay. It was just something that just kind of noticed.
Did you come off like you needed a big hug?
I did.
Well, the good thing is the National. We're on the road to the National. We're a few weeks away, and you'll be getting plenty of giant hugs there. So.
That's right. And I just don't want people thinking, "Oh, this guy needs some help." I mean, that's beside the point. But it's just. Are we okay now, Snoop?
I don't know. My computer this screen is literally going black and then it's coming back in, then it's going black, and then it's doing all sorts of stuff and going it's saying StreamYard unresponsive, but then I can hear everything fine. Then it goes choppy. I don't know. I'm ready to throw this thing. Yeah.
BBC on today.
What I'm gonna do, Scott? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you my cell phone, and I'll just get you to send the link to my cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is horrible.
Okay. I'll see if I can't figure that out because my link's on the computer. But all right, yeah, that sounds good. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
I'm gonna step out the studio, then we can roll with it.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
So as the weeks go by, Scott,
of
are
course,
you getting more and more fired up for the National? Or are you kind of just not thinking about it too much, planning stuff?
For the National?
Yeah.
To be honest, after talking with you and Ed last week, and then Snoop, we talked afterwards. Me and Snoop did for like 45 minutes. I've been really can't wait to get to the National, to tell you the truth. I just want to what am I'm eager to go, but I'm not I don't have the downside. I'm not going to have the money that I usually have. I've touched on this before, but that's not the reason. The upside is going to have a good time, seeing the cards. I'm just a little nervous that we're going to go, and it's a lot of people sound like they're either going and not going to be spending money, or backing out. I've been hearing little by little, more and more people dropping, not going, and I don't know. I feel like we're with. I had a little anxiety this weekend with a single income type of deal. So that was more what the video is. It's just I talked to some people at my other job sites this week, and little scary times going on. But I'm going to enjoy it. I can't wait to go.
I'm definitely fired up for the show and to meet everyone, but I guess I haven't really reflected on, like, it did occur to me a day or two ago. I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I don't know how much available cash I will have. Listen, I'm always going to go there at this point. Like, in my collecting journey, the National, I am looking for things that I'm not going to see every day on eBay and stuff. That doesn't mean I won't buy a few cheap Phillies that I run into, but I'm looking for more stuff that I'm either going to find at an auction house or maybe not see for another 5 years. So I'm kind of going to it with no expectations of picking anything up necessarily for the collection, the hopes to pick up something. But I actually, the one local show by us, it's a mall show, but it's by far the best mall show. It's a great show. The selection of dealers. It's not a huge show, but just high quality. It was very busy. I went Friday and it was very busy. Saturday I went pretty dead. It may have picked up as the afternoon went on, and I have no idea how today was. I didn't attend. But I was able to get a lot of stuff, and I picked up a lot of stuff not for the collection. I picked up more so stuff to sell. I did pick up a few small things for the collection. But guys were like very, very willing to work. Like you didn't even have to fight with them. Like some of them were willing to kind of knock 25% off right away. So it made me think about, what's that national going to be like? How is it?
Yeah.
How is it going to evolve if it's that same situation? People are in the same spending habits, and there's even more competition because it's so big.
Yeah. So when I was listening to Ed today, his recap video, he was talking, how, like, I guess Friday, that one dealer sold it. It's almost his whole booth.
I might have picked up a few things from him.
Oh, did you?
But that guy, that guy is well known. He's always been someone who prices very, very fairly
to get rid of stuff, right.
And he's willing to work with you. But he was guys were swarming him yesterday. So I know he did very well. Some of the other guys, some of them were doing really well. Some of them not so much. And some of it had to do with the pricing, and some of it had to do with their reputation. And I do think now in times where people are going to be a little more conscious, maybe consider a little more how much they want to spend or how much they can spend, you're going to go with, the companies or the people that, you kind of trust or that work well with you. I mean, I see it the same way with grading. We can't grade everything. You can't grade everything as is, but if you have to make choices, for me personally, and it's not going to be the choice of most people, I'm going to send some stuff to the companies that I know are going to turn things around quick, that are going to treat you right. I'm like, all right, I can only grade 20 cards. I'll send 10 here and 10 there, and the hell with, the other guys.
Right.
So, I don't know. I actually am starting to feel like the National will lend some opportunities. Now, there are going to be some guys, but maybe not. And the super rare stuff and the super high-end stuff, forget it. You might get deals, you might get someone to work with you, but that's not the stuff you're going to find dirt cheap. But I do think a lot of the more common stuff, or stuff that's not as, whoever's the hottest, whatever rookie flares up in, a couple weeks from now, during the national, month from now, their stuff might not be as easy to be had, but some of the other players, you might have opportunities. I do kind of feel that way. But I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone, seeing some guys I haven't seen in 5 years, seeing guys I only get to see once a year.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. You're going to see a different group of people than we did last year because they don't want to go to Atlantic City, but they'll be here this year.
Yeah. I've never looked more forward to a long drive. Like, I just think it could be a good time.
Yeah, that the drive, I think, is going to be fun. We'll talk more about that on a later date. I'm trying to get this to Snoop real quick. I finally figured out. I'm sitting here trying to figure out things in my mind. All right, I think I got her. I had to figure out how to get the link to him on my phone. Yeah, so I think I'm going to really this year. I'm going to have to wait it out. I don't think I'm going to be buying much the first few days. Because it's going to be so freaking big, and I'm literally just looking for a few certain items. Oh, you're crispy there.
Oh man, look at that guy.
Crispy there. All the lights on. Oh man.
I just went on and did it through my phone.
Okay. So, we're talking about the National. I feel like I am going to be waiting a few days. Then I usually, in the past, that's always been, my guide to the National is never buy the first day, walk around. And you know what? I always buy something the first day.
It also depends. You got to put that little marker. You know, if you for some reason run into a 52 manual for $5, I mean, buy it the first day. But,
yeah. So like, I have picked up a Stormtrooper 10 in 1977. For me, it was a very good price. PSA 10. You don't run across those very much, and I ran into a Gretzky Auto at a very good price. I knew it wasn't going to stay at those prices, so I picked them up. You know, and I went ahead 2 years ago and picked up Satchel Paige because I knew I wasn't going to find. I did so much prep work for buying a satchel. I knew that was a very good price for that.
You can never go wrong with a Satchel Paige.
Right. Yeah. So I went ahead and got it, you know, and the guy was straight up because I would do better if it was later in the week, but it's just the first day, and you know I couldn't chance it not it being there on Saturday because how many people walk through that place. But now we got Snoop here. Enough about you, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
Mike's all right. I can't wait to see him again at National.
Yeah, me and him are riding together, so we're gonna have some fun. Me and him are gonna have a day of talking that we're gonna record every bit of it.
We're gonna do a 9-hour live stream of the ride. People are like, what the hell are you idiots talking about?
It's gonna be like the Blues Brothers. We got 11-hour drive, a half a pack of smokes, and a half gas. Let's go.
Is Ed in the car with you guys?
No, we tried.
No, he wanted to take the express flight.
Yeah. Ed's the smart one.
So Ed goes, "Hey, what time are you going to get there?" So we can pick him up. Him and Dave and Fabian. So I'll pick him up. So yeah, finale. As long as you run and jump into my arms, Dave, then it'll be a great one.
Now, Scott, you asked. I could. It was so choppy, I couldn't understand it. But were you asking something about the autographs?
Right, because I know you've talked so much about them in this last year. Is that something that you're moving towards to and away from, like your Scherzer and some of your Roy Campanella and some of that? Are you leaning going towards more autos? Because you're not getting cheap autos. You're buying helmets, full size helmets, as you see behind you. So just seeing what direction you're kind of going into.
Well, I'm not stopping cards.
Right.
I mean, just got that Campion, and we talked before about this Campanella.
That's beautiful.
And I still got stacks of stuff that are still coming in, and I mean, you know me, I've got mail I've never even opened yet.
Yeah, Snoop's got mail from 2018. He's still working.
But Mike, you would like this mail. You know what? If I can find something, I will go ahead and open this because I know what's in it.
And if anybody, if you didn't know, I did the thumb caption of him dreaming of the National because he calls me up after the show last week. He goes, "Man, I just watching the show, I just can't stop thinking about this National."
We are getting.
Of course.
We're getting to the season where you start going back and watching like old National videos, reminiscing. And that's why I think it's important. You don't have to go out of your way to go, don't make it all about making content, but film some stuff, put together a recap at the very least. I like doing daily recaps so I can look back and be like, oh, I got that.
And make sure you got Dave in the background yelling, "Let's go Mets." So
we'll have him with his Mets and Jets chants.
Man, this guy shipped these cards really well. There we go. I get to them, and now they're cellophane wrapped.
While you're getting to that, one other question for you, Snoop. I know we all know you're an avid fisherman, very good at it.
Yeah,
you love it. Is there any other hobbying that you're doing outside of collecting and fishing? How much time does a man like you have?
Zero now.
Your work, fishing. and member sports, and you're outside of cards now. You're a sports memorabilia. Somebody's turned you on into the Funko world.
Yeah, wonder who that was.
Hopefully, you're not a completionist with that.
Yeah, that's. Whew.
I got to get a different. I got to get a different holder for it. But Mike, I'm pretty sure you like that Mike Schmidt.
Oh,
That's a whole lot of Mike Schmidt. What do we got? Jersey. What's in the middle? Is that Jersey or is that
Oops.
Is
looks
that
like that.
It's still a PSA 10. If not, it's a PIG 10. It's home jersey with the stripe.
Yep.
And this is from the when they wear the blue.
The
yeah,
powder
the
blue?
throwbacks. Yep. And it's bat in the center.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
top Sterling.
I couldn't tell if it was bat or I know sometimes they've put in piece of glove and stuff in there.
Yeah.
I have not seen that style before. I like that. The Sterling. That showed me two Sterlings that are really, really nice.
I can tell you one thing. I don't even know what you paid for it, but you're better off buying that than buying a box of Sterling and attempting to get it.
Yes. Yeah, Sterling is now $500 a box. No.
Yeah.
No, I think it's more than that a box. I think it was a couple grand now.
Yeah, you probably get like a couple cards, you know.
Yeah, and then I got this other one. He's a future Hall of Famer. But I don't think I have many more magnetics of Albert Pujols. Another there we go. Another Sterling.
First ballot. Now, on the question with Pujols, how many writers are going to vote not to put him in?
I know
who's going to be the a-hole that goes, no, not first ballot.
I mean, there are a few fools that didn't vote for Babe Ruth, so
right.
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera is the only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other cool thing, with National is, like, I see Victor, the rookie card specialist, is in the chat.
Oh yeah.
I want to get a chance to meet Victor. Watch tons of his videos. You just get to meet people that you watch videos of, and for new people that have never gone, all of you guys can attest to it. It's weird when you finally meet somebody you've been watching on YouTube, because you already have a friendship akin, and it's like you're just meeting an old friend. Even if you've never met them before face to face, but you've been chatting on the phone, all of that. I mean, as tight as Aaron Davis and I are, we have never met in person.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on it because
that's mind blowing, because it's just
right.
I guess I only met Aaron once, but
you and Nate hung out, right? At the last Chicago?
Last Chicago. That's the only time Nate and I have hung out. But Nate, Aaron, and I, we call each other every day.
So is Nate going early this year?
Nate is going to hang out with Ben, the other Bonds collector, and then they're coming to National, I believe, on Thursday. Okay,
so tell everybody what if you don't want to share it, that's fine. But what you told me. Now this is what the whole thing is about. So what are you and Aaron doing? This is pretty cool. This is what you told. I was like, this is experience right here.
Yeah. There's our list of autographs and the number of inscriptions we're looking at getting. We're actually going to dwindle that list down, because guys like Eric Dickerson and Marshall Falk come to CSA. They're a regular at CSA, and I can get the autographs and inscriptions cheaper there. So we're just basically making a list of everybody we want, and then we're going to fine-tune this to just those that are going to be there that I don't have the opportunity, or Aaron, because Aaron's coming to CSA in October,
right?
Where we don't have the opportunity to get those autographs at another show that's local. So, and I saw Jericho was in the chat.
Yeah.
After National, he will not be the only one with the Johnny Bench glove that's autographed. A catcher's mitt.
Oh, Wow.
Yes, I watched his video over and over and over. I got a double heart catcher's mitt for Johnny Bench to sign at National.
You might have to. Yeah, you and Johnny might talk about that. I've gotten Johnny at the National. I got a mini helmet, and we talked about the baseball bunch. He's
But
me and Jericho. That's one of my favorite players. Johnny Bench was my first love in baseball. So,
you know, the big thing for new people that are going, it is so overwhelming at National that
have you seen the floor plan for this year?
yes, it is ridiculous
Okay.
how much bigger it is since the last time it was at Chicago. I mean, last time, by my pedometer in my phone, I was averaging 9.5 miles a day walking in the show. So I know this year is going to be more. But I was saying to those that are going, make a list of the cards you really, really want to find there. I've got a couple I'm planning on buying there if the price is right, but it's more for the memory. I want the card. It's Campanella rookie. I'll tell anybody that. It's Campanella rookie.
Yep.
But I want to buy it with Nate and Aaron there. So that card not only is a national card, I had two of my best friends there when I bought it. You know, it creates this memory. The first card I bought at National in Chicago last time was a Johnny Bench Transcendent autograph, gold frame, and my wife was there with me. You know, I've got each card I bought that's, you know, a bigger card. I've got a memory attached to that card, which is so cool.
Right. I try to get a big card for that reason at every national.
Yeah.
You know, for the memories of, you know, I got my bench rookie at my first national. I got a Ken Griffey, my Ken Griffey auto, same national. So things like that. You know, I got the Satchel Paige, Clemente, and Gretzky at the last Chicago. You know, I like to get nicer cards for the memories.
Yeah.
One.
The autographs are just an addition. My only two hobbies are tournament bass fishing and collecting sports cards, baseball cards, and memorabilia. I say sports cards because I'm getting into the NFL Top 100. And I know it may not happen for years and years and years if I can ever complete it. I would like to have a helmet autographed and inscribed by everybody in the NFL Top 100. That's a ridiculous
I was going to say it's
challenge.
A lofty goal. But amazing if you can even come close to that.
The only thing I would say about that is how some of those guys live their lives. You better hurry up and get them before they don't
Yeah,
you know, they live wild and free. It's kind of, you know.
I did complete my boxing. You can see one of the gloves is right there. Of the top three boxers of the 80s, and now I'm starting to work on the 70s, and I'm thinking about doing the 90s also. That way I can get De La Hoya in there.
Wow, yeah, that's, you know, I did what almost all the players. I think the only one that I've missed on, the grouping this. You'll start seeing the same people doing the traveling around doing an autograph thing, and the only one I would like to get is Yount because I've gotten Smith, I've gotten, you know, most of the 80s guys that I grew up with in baseball and football. I got, you know, I got Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, you know, most of the Cowboys. So I do. You spend some money and it's gone. Then they started the autographs at the National have started kind of getting. Some of them are kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I understand why he charges so much, but Dan Marino, he's got the most expensive autograph at National, and I understand. That's what that Miami helmet was for. I had purchased that because I was going to get a Marino autograph, and I wanted to get at least 3 inscriptions, maybe 4. And his price is $350 just for the autograph, and I think it's $150 for each inscription. So HOF, whatever year, HOF 05 or whatever he went in, that's $150 extra. That's $500. That's crazy.
So how much is it to never win the Super Bowl?
I got to ask Aaron because that's his favorite player.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
But I did want the inscription, like first to 30,000 yards,
Right.
Dolphin for life, something cool on there. But at that price, no, absolutely not. That'd be the only thing I get at National.
Yeah, that's what I do like what they do at the National, and I don't know if they're doing it this year. You sent me the links for all the stuff. I still need to look. So there is a couple that I'm interested in. They like to do groupings of certain players and teams together. I noticed one year they had all the Bills together, the Cowboys together. What I would have loved is they did Lawrence Taylor, and a couple hours later they did Joe Theismann. They would have had those tables side by side. That would have been special.
They do have them just about side by side at CSA.
Oh, do they?
And LT does remind Theismann of that hit.
Well, I know they're friends, and I know LT visited him, and it should. If you watch the game, you can see he couldn't play the next couple of snaps. He had to leave the game. It messed him up for a couple of plays, but LT's LT.
He's not going to be there this year.
He he made the defensive end position it is today. He's not going to be there.
No,
wow.
No, he's not going to be there. I was looking forward to hanging out with him at the DoubleTree.
Well,
I was about to say,
and I was
classic Nationals memories. LT.
I was looking too that I didn't see Cal Ripken on the list, but
no, Cal is not on there either. But Cal just did CSA.
Yeah, he'll do. I think he's just probably just residing. I can drive down the street and do CSA 3 times a year, and that's enough for him.
But wasn't he like $400 for him to sign?
That's incredible because when I got it, which was 2017 National, I think it was 150. Most of the superstars are around the 135 to 150 range, just on a small helmet or whatever.
Yeah,
I gotta think these autograph prices are just going to keep going up, just with the times, with inflation, the cost of travel.
Yeah,
these guys out there.
Well, they look on the secondary market and go, "This guy's selling for 500. Why are we giving it away at 150?"
Yeah,
and if anybody's going to get something signed, especially if you're getting, plug your ears, Victor, but if you're getting a rookie card signed, check the prices. A lot of the athletes have special pricing for signing a rookie card. Okay. And if you've got these to get signed, Funko Pops, a lot of times they have special pricing for Funko Pops because they're looking at the prices of what they're going for on eBay, and they're like, well, if I sign it, then they might flip it. So
Pafalsi says Ripken goes for 200, 250. He gets a lot of autographs, this guy, especially he's a wrestling autograph. He's got pictures all the time doing that, but he does a lot of autos. So,
and
like I said, because I have a 8x10 of me and Cal Ripken together that I like to have him autograph, but I'm not going to pay crazy amount for it.
Yeah, I want him to autograph a bat, black bat, silver Sharpie or silver paint pen.
I can imagine because I know his bats go for like 400.
I gotta look. I feel like I might have a Ripken bat.
Yeah, I want the Iron Man inscription on it.
Is that what I got on the helmet? I think I did get Cal Ripken Iron Man.
Oh, that's the other thing I've noticed that started picking up a little bit of steam. Like, okay, you see, I got all those inscriptions on the helmets. Like, I think the Lenny Moore has 15. The Lawrence Taylor has 6 or 7. That one has 7 on it. In baseball, I'm noticing more people are getting batting helmets signed, and they're getting stat helmets, where they're getting the players to put all their stats on a batting helmet. I got to say, they look cool as crap.
Oh, really?
Especially if like they got the matte finish
Right.
hat, and then they're signing in a paint pen that's glossy, so the autograph pops, the inscriptions pop. They look really, really cool.
Well, I know.
All right, boys, I gotta run.
Okay, Mike.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, Mike.
Snoop, can't wait to see you at the show.
Yeah, brother.
I'll probably send out links just to see if anybody wants to chat afterwards later. So, all right, brother.
See you
later. So I do mini helmets. I have 2 cabinets of mini helmets. I don't have them displayed because I can't hang them in my apartment, but I got a bubble wrapped in my closet, which that's awesome. But anyway, I love getting mini helmets done. They're just easier to display, but I can see where the helmets. I also have quite a few baseballs, but baseballs are kind of where the helmets is the team colors and all that stuff, where the baseball's just the baseball. So
yeah, I guess I just love unique items signed. I've got the glove over there for Bench to sign. I'm debating. I'm a huge Raleigh Fingers fan. He's going to be signing on Sunday, so I'm considering finding a glove like he played with to have him to sign.
Now that one can't be too much for Raleigh Fingers.
No, he's not much. I think it's $65 for the autograph and like $20 per inscription.
Okay, because I would like to get Vic. I know last time at CSA he was like $75,
and that's something I noticed is, so of course it's a bigger event, all of that, so athletes are going to charge more for the autograph,
right?
But Wade Boggs is going to be there. Boggs is also at CSA. It's only $10 more expensive to get his autograph at National. So, do I wait for CSA and save $10 and his inscription prices are the same. So, but yeah, I love the autograph memorabilia also to go with my cards and all of that. But believe me, my wife will tell you I can have no more hobbies than this.
Okay.
I do have some old collector cars and stuff like that I bought younger to restore later, like an 83 Firebird that looks exactly like Kit. I got a 34 Plymouth PD sedan with suicide doors, a 34 Dodge pickup. I got some old classic stuff to restore, but that's all for when I retire. That's retirement projects. Other than that, yeah, this is the fun I'm having.
Yeah, I like to ask what other people have for hobbies, because I feel like, I don't know, if I stay with baseball cards as much as I love them, I feel like sometimes I just need to do something else to come back to it. If it's just for a day or two or something, whatever, or I'll just spin out of control. Last few years in our hobby has been a little frustrating, and I do video games and some other stuff. And yes, that's been no hobby has been protected from COVID. It just hasn't been. But I don't have the same amount of stuff in video games, so I can still go out and play in the shallow end of the video games and still feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah. I could possibly have other hobbies, but this room is relatively small, So this fall, my wife and I are looking for another house anyway, and I want a basement. I
Mhm.
saw a guy's. I love watching man cave videos, and one guy, he's a helmet collector. He's got a bunch of mini helmets. He has the entire NFL top 100 all signed on mini helmets, and it's ridiculous, that collection. And he's got his basement, and it's helmets on one wall, then it's baseball stuff down another wall, and then he's got hockey stuff in there, and it's like the ultimate man cave. And
Yeah,
it's like that's awesome.
I don't know if you ever got to see my basement tour that I had of my house in Iowa, but I love that. I love having a whole basement where my walls are covered. I had it was great. I tried to do this apartment that way. I was like, screw it. I spent all my time in my basement. I'm a single guy. I could do my apartment and look, somewhat that way. But
Yeah.
so I've
I've
been
been
having fun with
confined.
it.
I've been confined with it to these four walls.
Yeah, now if I had a lovely lady in my life, I'm positive that I'd be confined in the four walls as well.
No,
But I'm
no.
not at this moment, so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, fishing is a different story. I have fishing baits, packages, fishing stuff slung, especially in the spring before the season starts. It's slung from one end of the house to the other end, all over the boat, all in my shed outside, and then she'll call me while I'm at work. Some package came. Oh, who's it from? Uh, Tackle Warehouse. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just set that in my office. I can't even get in your office. You got too much junk all over the place. Oh, well, just set it in the kitchen. I'll get it when I get home. Yeah, springtime is bad for me with that.
Right. And I mean, you pretty much fish year round anyway, don't you? I mean,
Just about, yeah.
yeah. I know
Um,
you're north, a little bit northern part of Virginia, right?
I'm like dead center Virginia.
Oh,
I
are you?
am, yes, I am. If you, well, you know where Fredericksburg is, and you know where
Mhm.
Richmond is,
Mhm.
right dead middle. 30
Okay.
minutes to Richmond, 25 minutes to Fredericksburg. I'm
Okay. So,
just north of King's Dominion.
yeah,
Everybody knows where King's Dominion is.
Ashland area,
No, north,
north
up
of that.
north. Yeah.
Okay.
Ladysmith, Ruther Glen area.
Oh, Ladysmith. There you're in the apples country there.
Yeah. I'm not far from him.
Yeah, I'm no Bible, but I'm talking about where they grow apples at in the western that part of the I love Ladysmith area there. Because I mean I grew up in Colonial Heights, just on 95, just south of
Yeah.
Richmond. So
Yeah. So I know you, like me, went to King's Dominion a ton.
yeah, I
And
had season
yeah.
ticket for season pass from little kid all the way up to through high school. So
Yeah. That was my babysitter during the summer. Then,
you couldn't beat going to a concert for just already having a season pass and going to see a concert for $10.
no. And then I started working there, and I got a job in, they called it
Oh,
carts department. And being in carts department, I got to go to all the concerts for free.
nice.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, yeah, it was. I mean, the '80s and '90s, every big like not really rock, but like top 40 group came
yeah,
through that.
they had top 40 groups. They had top 40 country
Yeah,
acts to come through. They had some classic R&B and Motown groups to come through.
right. I saw the Beach Boys, but with ever who was left and their kids.
When I saw the Beach Boys, I'm trying to think of the guy's name because their drummer couldn't make it. He got sick. So, what's his name? He was in Full House. He played Uncle Danny.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he
Yeah,
played.
he was the fill-in drummer for
Okay,
that night. He can really play the drums. He
okay,
is
because
good.
I've seen Bob Dylan there and a couple other classic. You said Motown. I'm trying to think. I did see some, but yeah, all the top 40 acts. So when you
Yeah.
were a kid, it was just a fun place
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm literally I'm like chomping at the bit now for national. I'm just waiting for national. The crazy thing
Well,
is I'm gonna be there way early than most
right.
people. Yeah, I'm gonna be there on Sunday.
You're making an
Um,
actual whole week vacation of Chicago past
right.
Nashville.
Um, I'm letting anybody know that's watching. If you think you're gonna arrive there on Wednesday with your family, and unless you specifically say I'm not going to national this day, you're not going to see any of the city except the Rosemont Center and a place to eat. And if you go to the after parties, when you get out, it's probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and you go to bed, and you're going to do the same thing over again the next day. Because
Right.
originally we planned to go to Chicago and try out different places and to eat and see some of the museums. I've always wanted to see the Metropolitan Museum
Mm-hmm.
there because it's world renowned. So I
Right.
wanted to see that, and being a history buff. And
Right.
it's a few other places I wanted to go. The House of Blues, a few other spots. And
You want to see the bean.
originally, hmm,
You want to see the bean.
yeah, and
The bean's
you know,
out
we
front of the Metropolitan Museum, I think.
we were like, yeah, we'll be able to go do this and do that, and there was no way that was going to happen.
Right.
And so this time, my wife and I decided, let's go 4 days early. Then we can go see the Metropolitan Museum. We can go to all these places. We can find some very cool downtown restaurants to eat at. You know, really experience Chicago. And then when National starts on Wednesday, I'll probably be there just to get my tickets, and then I'm out. And from Thursday on through, it's all National for me. My wife and Erica, Aaron's wife, because my wife used to live in Chicago for about 5 or 6 years, so she knows her way around really well.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not
they're
bad.
going to have girl time.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said anybody else whose wife comes that wants to hang out, have some girl time, get away from the guys, because she calls National um a frat party.
Right. Well,
Yeah, that's what
that
she
would
calls it.
be, some of, and I know women collect. I'm not trying to be all anti-women, but the majority is men. It's a fact.
Yeah,
Uh, that's something that could be a future thing to start lining up for, for people that go to these cities and their family want to go for a vacation, for the lady folk, uh, to have a group to go do their own thing. If it's Cleveland, Atlantic City,
yeah,
wherever, Chicago, that'll be an interesting thing. I mean, that's cool that they're doing that, and I'm sure they never met each other. If you and Aaron's never met each other,
no. Aaron and I
so
have never met, and we've sent care packages to each
well,
other.
y'all could have met,
We,
but I mean,
yeah,
I mean, y'all been
it,
online dating for a while now.
yeah,
Nobody's
yeah.
catfishing each other. You've seen each
Yeah, that's true. That is true. The and I've just been like, I haven't made a video now in like 4 months, and I've just been so extremely busy. However, thank the Lord, it's getting ready to slow down. Truly getting ready to slow down. Um, Probably the week of the 4th of July. I got a bunch of personal stuff going on, and you know, yeah, Dave, my wife was at Chicago last time. Um, yeah, it's gonna slow down so I can get back to making videos again because
other. Right.
I've got a ton of stuff all
Awesome.
around me to kind of
Yeah,
show. And
you're one of the guys that you leave. Everybody's like, "Man, I wonder where Snoop's at." And you come back and make videos, and everybody's like, "Snoop's back." I mean, you're known for one video, but not just for the one. Uh, but everybody loves Snoop. A great part of this community, and I mean, you see over here, everybody knows you're busy. You
yeah,
know, life happens, man. And if people
yeah,
don't understand that, this is this doesn't pay the bills. This is just fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
This
You know, I really would like to bring around the hobby back, but you know, I did that before I was married. I
right,
had the extra time to devote, you know, if I wanted to spend 8 to 10 hours a day editing that thing, it was no
right,
big deal.
right,
Now, if I sit here and try to edit a video for 10 to 12 hours, that's not going to happen.
right.
Yeah, that's
It'll
literally because I
happen
know.
once.
Yeah, I'll get one time. But you know, a lot of people have asked me to bring that back, and if I get the time to do it, and as you can tell, I need a better computer, which my wife and I have talked about both of us getting new computers.
Right.
Then I'll probably bring it back. You know, no guarantees, but I probably will bring it back.
Right.
I miss doing it. I still keep up on all the information.
Right.
It's not like, excuse me, it's not like I ever stopped with all the information, but
Right.
you know, like the stuff with Fanatics TV, you know, that everybody's curious about right now.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff I did, you know, the companies were wondering how I got those videos that I showed.
Right.
SGC was one of them because they were like that. I don't even know how. They don't know how I got the video. And I told the guy who I talked to from SGC, I said, well, I can't tell you how I got it. Just all you got to know is I got it.
Right.
But yeah, I came up in some of their board meetings because I had a video that wasn't supposed to leak out.
Right.
You know, and I
Well,
still track a lot of that stuff. That's part of the fun with the hobby for me. Like the hold on, I'm gonna slide off camera just for a second.
okay.
And this is something I guess a lot of people don't really know about, and it deals with national. The old, I guess you would say, old heads that were controlling where the national goes to have stepped down,
Right.
and newer people have stepped in. Well, they're looking at 4 other cities to bring national to, and they're deciding between. And I want to know your opinion on these cities.
Well, I've already heard a rumor of one, so go ahead.
St. Louis, Indianapolis, Indiana, Nashville, Tennessee, Orlando, Florida, and they are seriously considering bringing it back to Baltimore, Maryland. So, what do you think of those cities for to have national? That would be awesome.
Also heard they're considering going back to Atlantic City too because it's free. But Nashville to me would be the spot.
Yeah,
They're a fun place. Baltimore, from what I'm hearing from people, my friends that live in that area, I don't know if I want to go to Baltimore, no matter what size group I'm
look,
in.
I can tell you as someone for work that goes to Baltimore a lot.
Right.
If you stay in that Inner Harbor area, you're fine. But Baltimore can be like Southside Chicago.
Right.
Yeah, Baltimore is literally no joke of a city.
Right.
It's nicknamed the armpit of the East Coast for a reason.
I've heard that it's even leaked to where Orioles, in Inner Harbor at night.
It would have to be the Inner Harbor. But
yeah, so I mean, but I would like Nashville, St. Louis. I have friends in St. Louis. It's the same with any city, as long as it's not the bad part, right? There's always going to be I lived in a small town. It was a bad part of that town. It was I lived
the other side of the tracks.
Right. So I mean, did you say Memphis?
Nashville.
Nashville, Orlando. I don't know if I want to go to Orlando in July.
I wouldn't want to go to Orlando only because you're competing with the House of Mouse.
Right. I'm going. Well, if you go in July, it's not that bad because it's so darn hot. Not many people are there. I've been in July. The worst summer I've ever been is October in Orlando. That I've been to a wedding down there, and I thought I was going to die. It was so hot. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Like, you know what?
It's over.
We have to look up how far Tampa is from Orlando, because everybody can then crash at Lou Rock's house.
There you go. I don't think it's that far. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
see?
in
And
MFB, Mr. Fisher Bike, the MFB.
yeah, I mean, we can crash over their houses. I mean, Lou Rock,
There's
I
near
just saw.
Dean's house
Yeah,
down there, and there's quite a
yeah,
few people in that Tampa area. There's a whole group of them went to that card show last weekend.
yeah. I watched the video. Did you see the pool in the background?
Yeah, well, it was the young man that did the video, right? With getting and then
Don't even
Orlando.
say it.
What's
Don't,
Oh
don't,
yeah, you talked about it. Yeah.
don't
Uh,
say it, because Lou's already started laughing. I have to tell you off of here what he said, and what Mangini said. John, I already know. I mean, you know I wasn't gonna miss it. I'll tell you off of here what they said, but
right,
they were dying laughing, and I said,
right.
yeah. I can't say nothing else about it.
Ziggy says Orlando is like 90 minutes away from Tampa, which I knew wasn't too far. And I just don't know Orlando. It's hot there. It's I don't know. I just the last time we were in Chicago, I don't know if you remember that Friday they were having issues with the air conditioning and
Yes.
how packed that place was. I can't imagine if that happens again this year, because it's a third, 33% bigger this year.
Yeah, they opened, like, that one whole wing now is autograph area, so that where the old autograph area was is now full of dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody watching that's never been, watch all the videos that are coming out now on national. And Victor had the best suggestion of everyone. Everyone says wear comfortable shoes, and Victor said, forget comfortable, just go buy new shoes.
Yeah,
And that is the best advice. I mean,
I buy
you're
two
going
pair because I'm so big.
Oh.
I have two pair that I take.
Yeah, you're literally going to walk a pair out.
Right. So because last year I compressed one pair, and I mean I have sugar, so I was holding some water in the calves last year, which scared me. I'd never had my legs swell like that, or swell at all. But my own stupidity, I left my medicine at home. So once I got home, by 2 or 3 days, everything got back to normal. But yeah, I took off. I was like, what? I looked down and I've never seen my legs like that.
Wow. I'm glad you're better now.
Oh yeah, and it had to do with walking. It didn't stop me. It stopped me from going out that night, but the next day I went right back. I spent a little bit more time. One thing I did like about AC was their, if you want to call it, the VIP room, or the room that you can go off to, was a little bit bigger. So you had space to sit in there. And a lot of us guys sat in there and just chit chat. By Saturday, we were all wore out. You know, it's kind of like we sat in there, we go ate lunch, and then came back. I sat in there and I think I talked for 2 hours and then went and walked around.
Last time at Chicago, by Saturday evening, they didn't care whether you were VIP or not. I
think they're going to probably crunch down next to so many people this time. I guess VIPs will probably be totally sold out by the time of the show, it looks like. So my worry is the fire marshal coming and shutting the whole thing down.
My worry is internet signal. Chicago was good last time. It was really good. But I'm worried about it this time. More people, more
Atlantic
more phones
City
and everything.
I tell you, I had T-Mobile. Mike O has T-Mobile. We were golden in Atlantic City. There was one little spot about 10 feet by 10 feet that I had trouble with Once I walked out of that little area, I was golden. So I was fine. I know my friends that had Verizon, our group, they had issues. And, when you go to these huge shows with groups, this is my new thing of telling everybody, get as many phone numbers and tell as many people what you're looking for. So that way you have as many eyes on that floor that just might happen. They see what you're looking for, and they might not even be looking for it, but it clicks when they see it and go, oh, Scott was looking for that. And
Filmington, and a few others, we all in a group message.
Right.
And they knew I was looking at the last national I went to. I was looking for the pool host, the Bowman rookie with the black borders.
Yes.
And, Filmington found it. One dealer had one, and he was talking with the dealer about something else, and he came across it. Then he messaged me right away, and, he's like, hey, booth number such and such, dealer's got it, told him you're looking for it. And went over there, immediately bought the card.
Right.
So especially now, I'm so glad I got that card for $30 back then.
I mean, I went to that show several years by myself. I was a lone huntsman, but this last year I was in 2 or 3 text groups, and everybody's telling each other what we're looking for. Man, Lou Rock and Don took me to a dealer I missed totally that was dealing nothing but Clementes. And I got a couple of Venezuelans and good. Ended up one of the guys that was running the booth, coached the high school team I played against in high school. He knew my baseball coach. So it kind of worked out well. I love playing day Clementes. That's been my. I don't do much in vintage, but I do playing day Clemente. I do Johnny Bench. And I've been talking about this. Me and B-Roth talked about this before. I really do think vintage is being used way too much now because we're getting older. I just think 70s and 80s need a new terminology and leave vintage as post-war up to the 70s. Because I just don't look at vintage. That's more to me or call vintage golden era. I don't know what to do, but I just think we're going to have this vintage that keeps adding on.
Yeah.
As this verbiage, and nobody's going to know what it means.
We're getting older.
Yeah, I'm not vintage.
Call it classic.
That's right.
It's the classic era. But I mean, I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for at National. Relic cards and vintage cards, and maybe a few others that happened to cross my path. I mean, I have some strategies with a lot of players, especially players that I feel that are going in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I've got tons of different strategies, but the other thing too is if somebody in your group is getting ready to buy some stuff from a dealer and they've got stuff you want, ask them to hold on a minute before they make the purchase, because you throw your stuff in there too, and hey, the deal. He's like, we can do a bundled deal for all of this stuff.
Good point.
They pay for what they want, you pay for what you want, and everybody gets a discount.
And that happened with me and Mike at Chicago, the last Chicago show. Mike ended up making a trade with a bunch of Otanis for a Clemente rookie. He gets Clemente rookie plus cash back, and I ended up getting a great deal on a Clemente big or whatever.
Wow.
So graded already, and so I was ecstatic to get that. I was like at a good deal. So you're exactly right on that. That's 100%. It's just these type of deals is just better to go as a group. And not it can't always work that way. I don't let it stop me from going anywhere, being a soldier of one. But if you do and you can't get a group, make sure that everybody knows what each one is looking for. That way you can help each other.
it's a lot of little things for National that add up. Like, you know, several people are into graded cards. You know, I like Raw. I got some graded cards, yeah. But, you know, what I'm looking for at National, Campanella. I'd like to find a Campanella rookie 2.5, a 2, 2.5, or 3. That's my range. However, if I find one that's raw that looks good, that hey, if the dealer lets me hold another one up there just to kind of check to make sure that it's not trimmed or anything, I'm good buying it raw. I'll throw it in the pour mold and put it up on display, and I'm just as happy as can be. But
I think our hobby's turning a little to that direction now.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I've noticed.
less and less people are getting stuff graded.
But you know, one of the things and this is why I brought that up. A little side note of I had these with me. These are loops. You know, I had those that for some cards that I wanted to look at, but I also had a magnifying glass, a little pocket magnifying glass in my backpack. And one of the guys was like, he saw me using the loop and he's like, man, can I use the loop? And I said, you don't have anything to magnify with? And he's like, no, I forgot and left it at home. So, yeah, this is a 5X magnifying glass. Just keep it.
I keep a magnifying glass, and I have one that loops with the black light.
Yeah.
With the handle, and I can change the magnifying. And you'll also notice when you pull those out real quick, they'll either start already dropping the price or you start getting nervous and know something's up. I've had that happen a couple of times. Hey, look, here's a quick story. So last year, getting a Nolan Ryan rookie card, right, to complete my 60s run of Mets cards. The guy has it graded, and it's just authenticated. It's just authenticated, and it said, I forget what it said, but it didn't say trim. It said notice of altercate something. So I'm looking at it, and I flip it over, and it's got that green backing. And he goes, do you see anything? Does it look like it's trimmed? And I was like, yeah, look, it's on the back. You can see. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, Stevie Wonder could tell you that this thing is trimmed here. And the guy got mad at me. I didn't say the Stevie Wonder part out loud, but I was thinking it. And I was just like, dude, you asked me. I'm still going to buy it from you because it's at a good price. And he gave me a little bit off of it. And I cracked it out, put it in my book anyway for my set. I didn't want it in. I was trying to find it raw to begin with. I found it raw in Iowa where somebody rounded the corners. And I was like, oh, this is the one I've been looking for. This is going to be the cheapest one. And they wanted it more. And it was raw. And they were trying to sell it as like a PSA authenticated or 1 or 2. And I was just like, no, you can keep that up. So, you keep that.
And that's one of the great things about this hobby that I really like, because you can have a card, you know, okay, let's just use Baseball Collector as an example. You know, I collect a lot of vintage raw, and I've got some vintage, like I said, that's graded. Baseball Collector predominantly, you know, he has a lot of raw cards, but he predominantly is collecting now graded. Blue Jacket collects graded. I mean, you consider the stuff he's getting. Yeah, he collects graded. The person with the PSA graded, the SGC graded, and the raw collector can all share the same love for the card.
Exactly.
Regardless of what holder it's in, whether it's a Pro Mold, a Beckett, PSA, whatever, it's the card that everybody can talk about. Right? Did you notice this in the background? Did you see how the player was doing this? I mean, it's the universal thing in this hobby.
Right.
Granted, I'm not an investor either, so I'm not looking at it from a dollar sign perspective. I'm looking at it from a collector perspective.
That's where I am too. I am. So I look for the card. I got sucked into the registry, PSA registry, thanks to Mike, Baseball Collector. I blame him. I always tell him when I see him or I talk to him. But it's not a bad thing. I had fun with it. I made a video yesterday. I think I'm done with it. If I see a PSA Gary Carter that's not overpriced, I'll pick it up. But I'm not going to send $5 cards in at $20 to get graded.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Even as a collect, the math doesn't make sense. I could take that $20 and buy me another raw card, or something already graded.
And
I use the Clemente PSA registry. Hold on one second. Let me finish this one thought because my memory's not all that great. I get the PSA. I use the PSA registry for my Clemente collection just as a guideline. I look at it and go, oh, I need this. I have all different kinds of graded stuff for my Clemente collection. And I mean, Mike calls it the Frankenstein, where I got all the, I mean, you name it, I got it. I got GMA, I got Mint, I got what's the other? I got the other Canadian one. I have all these different types of stuff because I want the card. And if Eric knows back pages, this something's always stuck to me. I want the card. And if you don't feel like you're overpaying for it, that's all that matters is to you. If somebody else thinks you overpaid, it doesn't matter. They didn't buy it. You bought it. Right?
And,
so that's it.
And one thing Aaron always says is just because it's in a different holder, does that change the card?
No, not exact good. That's a good thought. It's
because he collects a lot of raw. Aaron's collection is ridiculous anyway.
Right.
But he told me that, and he reminds me of it every so often, and because he said, I know you want a Campanella and a Frank Robinson in this grade. I said, yeah. He said, well, suppose you find one, a raw example that looks better than what's in the slab. Would you buy the raw card? And I said, yeah, of course I'd buy the raw one. He said, well, you're not looking for a grade. You're looking for a condition of the card, not necessarily a grade of the card. He said, because whether it's in whose ever slab, it's not going to change the card. You're looking for the card itself.
Right.
Yeah.
See, when it comes to vintage like that, because I saw Roy. I should have picked up a Roy at Campy at the last Chantilly show I went to last fall. But it was raw. But, it was I think I told you, I had enough money to buy that one card, and that would have been my show for me. Because when I go to shows, I'm not like a lot of people. I don't carry a lot of money with me, except for one show, and that's the one we're going to. And my a lot is not a lot to everybody else. It's up to you. That's the one question nobody should ask is how much money you should carry. You know how much money you should carry? As much as you're comfortable to spend.
Yes.
That's it. Don't take any more than that.
And there's several people that go there with very little money and they buy a car. It's their goal. I've watched some guys do this on YouTube. Their goal is to go in the card show with like $25 or $30 and then flip that card at least 10 to 15 times to make like $1,000. And I've actually seen people at National do that. There was a guy in my motel room.
Triple Crown. You watch him. He'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. They just know what to look for. And, they'll be talking to a dealer and just say, hey, I just picked up a card like this. What do you think? And the dealer will shoot them an offer for it if they'll sell it. And they're like, well, I didn't pay but half of that. So they sell that, buy another card, and then go flip that one.
Right. Yeah. Triple Crown last year.
Yeah. That's why I can't be a dealer. I'd want to keep everything. Uh-oh. I think you froze, Scott. Yep, I think I'm carrying this on my own. Awesome. Let's see. So I can still see the chat. It's very delayed, though, because I'm having to look at the chat on my computer. Scott's frozen. in a smile. And I can't post anybody's thing up here because Scott has the main account. But yeah, I guess we're still live. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm the only one here now. Huh. Scott, I guess you're coming back. It, Dave, it's going to be awesome to see you there. Uh, Ziggy, are you coming to National this year? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I figured he's on his way back because I'm still live. Um, I think I hear crickets. Yeah. Yeah, Scott will be back. Hey guys, I haven't made a video in like 4 months. I've just been stupid busy. I'm still collecting, and I guess Scott doesn't mind. I'll show a card that I've picked up. Like I said, I've got a stack of cards. Let's see. I'll hold that one. I'll hold that one. Yeah, I'll show this one. Nah.
Hey, all right.
What's up? Yeah, I was pick Hall of Fame or future Hall of Fame. I'm gonna show a card that I haven't shown before.
Future Hall of Fame.
All right. This is a guy who I personally think is getting in the Hall of Fame. So I had the chance to get his relic card early, and this is number 6 of 8, and it's Adrian Beltre laundry tag.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's definitely in. I don't know if he's going to be first ballot though. I think he's going to be one that's going to have to wait to the second.
Yeah, I love that's my type of prospecting.
Yeah,
is for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I love doing that because my odds are so much better than prospecting rookies. I mean, there's what, like
well,
70 rookies
once
a
they
year?
already got the stats, it's easier.
Yeah. And like I had the list up earlier of the eligibility all the way through 2026. No, 2028. So I'm going down through the list, looking at everybody's name, looking at their stats, and looking at the awards that they've won. Like one I was questioning at first, but now I'm not questioning as much, is Yadier Molina. I'm thinking he's going to get in.
I think he will, and I think catchers need to be looked at as more just stats as well. What did a catcher mean to his team? That dude took pitching staffs and made them better. And that's a stat you don't see. And
right.
And his longevity at that position.
Yeah, and I've been wrong on a few players, but even though I'm wrong, they're still in the Hall of Very Good.
Right.
So, in my opinion, I'm not losing.
Right. Well, here's my question for you. What's one player that you think has gotten kind of left out? And I don't mean like, I don't want a steroid guy or something like that. We all know.
Yeah.
That's a personal preference. What is one player, and you can go back as far as you want, because I have one. I have probably a list of 4 that I can talk about. But
the one player I would have said has gotten in now, and he did so much for the sport of MLB and everything, but he's now in. That's Buck O'Neil.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been my number one choice. I mean,
see, mine is Dick Allen.
Yeah,
and I would have never, ever said that. And I'm sad to say now that I have Phillies friends, and I actually now know how much this guy added to the sport. It made me look him up myself, and learn about him. I'm like, but I'm a Dale Murphy lover as well, and I think he's getting kind of jobbed out of it as well. But Dave's got Will Clark, Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez does not have the numbers. I can tell you that. Will Clark's kind of the same way. Now, there's the two guys that are in the Hall of very, very good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I've actually got to go pick up autographed baseball up of him. He's I can't remember his name, but I guess because he's a loudmouth, the writers aren't putting him in.
Kent, Jeff Kent.
No.
Schilling. Kurt Schilling.
Yes, Kurt Schilling.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling has said some things post, but Kurt Schilling carried two teams to World Series. I mean,
yeah.
You put Randy Johnson in, you have to put in Kurt Schilling. He was the other guy.
Yeah. I don't get. I mean, yeah, Lou Whitaker. But to me, the writers should focus on from the time that person enters the clubhouse until the time that they leave the clubhouse to get in their car or bus or the airplane to go. It's what they do on the field performance.
Right.
And that's what I look at. They also look at, how they carry themselves out in public and this and that, which can be a whole argument because you've got definite roid users in, you've got abusers in, you've got all sorts of people in. So they should just say, look, we're only going to focus on this.
Racist. You got guys that, committed crimes.
Exactly.
The guys that were in pre-war to the early days of the 40s and 50s, they got some sketchy backgrounds.
Very.
But the writers kept all that stuff. I talked about this before. So the writers used to actually travel with the players. They hung out with the players. So they were their friends. Yep. So things changed. I'm telling you, the day that the guy was standing in a locker room and saw the Andro in Mark McGuire's locker was the day all that changed, I think, in baseball. They weren't their friends anymore, but to get the story, and it became more, the sport became bigger than what was on the field aspect. You have 24/7 Sports Center. You have all this stuff. It's no longer just about on the field. The sport is bigger.
And you've got social media out there. So if they screw up any, it's going to be on there. But it's weird. And you brought up the pre-war guys, and I don't want to go down this road. It's for a whole different show and everything.
Right.
But that's what makes it very hard for me to collect pre-war guys. There's some guys, huh?
Will you learn the history of some of the players?
Yes. Yeah. When I read the history of them, there are several players that are just out and out, flat out, hardcore racists.
Right.
And it's hard for me to put that person in my collection.
Right.
Especially knowing that they are.
Right.
So, I'm coming at it from a different perspective, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and you're allowed to. Let's don't get this bit. You're allowed to. Snoop.
Yeah, I mean,
and people can't see the difference between you and me and why you can come at it differently.
Yeah.
They got blinders on. I don't know what the problem.
Yeah, and
because I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you.
I mean, and I know someone would always ask me, well, would you pick up a Babe Ruth card? Well, yeah, I'd pick up a Babe Ruth card. They also don't know the history about Babe Ruth getting fined for barnstorming with Negro League teams. And the story of how he had his own barnstorming team because Ruth always said, I don't care what color they are, nationality. I just want to play against the best.
That's right. They played every off season against the best teams and got beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, there is a story I read about Ruth did face Satchel Paige. Now, the story I read is that Satch had him down one strike and one ball, and he basically tried throwing a fastball or like a fastball that would sink a little bit, and Ruth hit it out the park, and they said into a thicket of pine trees. Now, that's that story. I heard an interview with Satchel Paige where Paige had a whole different take of the story.
Right.
Paige's take was he struck Ruth out.
Right.
He put him down swinging. So
Right.
it's whichever story with that you want to believe.
Right.
But
Right.
for me personally, I mean, yeah, Ruth, I wish I could find the list of guys who were on Ruth's barnstorming team
Mhm.
because they were all players.
Right.
Yeah, they
Right.
were players from the Yankees and all other teams that they just wanted to play ball.
Well, and
I
also
would love to
they
find
didn't
that.
make the same money they made now, so they needed
Yeah.
other ways to make money.
Yeah, and that's why,
yeah.
they threatened to fine Ruth because one, they didn't want him getting hurt. He was
Right.
the star. He was
Right.
the one that was bringing people in to the stadium. So they didn't want him hurt. And two, they didn't like the look that it was portraying then. So,
Right.
Is what it is. But there are a lot of players, pre-war I'd like to get. There are a lot
Well,
of players
when
pre-war I don't want.
when was Ruth born? Because we had people we in the beginning. What was the last African American to play in the majors? Was what 1898 before they booted them out. 1992.
Yeah.
It's like, and then they allowed Hispanics to play as long as they were light skinned enough for a little bit. And then they finally said, no, they got to go too.
And Native Americans played because that's why you had Chief Bender.
Right.
But Ruth was born February 6, 1895.
Right. Well, he was probably too young to remember him. But I mean, he grew up in a bad part of Baltimore. So
yeah, Pig Town.
Yeah. So
I mean, literally, that's what the area is named, Pig Town,
right.
Baltimore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone to think I was taking cheap shots at Baltimore. I'll do that enough on my own. I don't need any help with that.
Yeah, and I mean that's man, I love the history part of the game. Good, bad, and different. That's what makes us human beings is good, the bad, and the difference. You got to have it all to make
right.
whole.
And being a fan of history,
right.
I minored in American history in college, but I understand because of the era what was going on, but it doesn't mean I have to say it was right, and it doesn't mean I have to add those players to my collection.
Yeah, and it's another to go along with it because of the era. There's another way where you're more active in that era.
Yes,
in it not happening. But anyway, that we need to get all the politics of that time can be taken 100 different ways, and everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah, that's what my old coach used to say.
What's that?
Opinions are like, can I say
you can say
a-holes?
What?
Oh, okay. Opinions are like assholes.
What are they going to do? Demonetize my non-monetized?
Yeah. But yeah, my old football coach used to say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink.
That's right. And but yeah, I love talking with you, Snoop. Thanks for hopefully some more when we can get you on again.
G-Man is on. Card cutter.
Yeah, card cutter. So national, can't wait. 5 weeks. Well, 5 weeks. You'll be in Chicago yourself if you're going to Sunday.
Is it 5 weeks?
5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, because I go back to work next Monday. Then I work 4 weeks and I'm on vacation.
I got to get ready to order some stuff. I got to really get on eBay and Rydell's website.
I
I
can't
need
wait.
some more helmets.
You need to
I need more
text me y'all's final list or whatever. So
Yeah, I even told my wife I've given myself a budget. And she's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'm giving myself a budget." And she just looked at me. You know how like when a dog hears a noise, he kind of does that.
right,
Yeah. When
right.
I told her I'm giving myself a budget, she just went, "Really? Yeah, you're going to the largest card show in the country, oh, really in the world, and you're going to have more autographed guests at this show than anywhere else at one time in the year, and you're going to give yourself a reasonable budget." And I said, "Yeah." She just looked at me and said, "Okay, whatever." But I'm gonna try to stick to my budget. I
Yeah,
really am.
I give myself a budget. This year's going to be less because just the way it's going to be. You see what Dave wrote down there?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. I think everybody should do that, especially this economy we're in right now. You might need it for something else later. Just be smart. But anyway, again, thanks Snoop for coming on. Great friend of the hobby and a great friend. Period. Can't wait to shake your hand. I don't want. We did shake hands before in Chicago, very briefly.
Yes.
2 years ago, I introduced myself to you when I was just a wee lad in the community. Uh, Still a wee lad, but I'm growing. So until next time, everybody, like, share, make sure you
Yeah.
follow me. Uh, Let me know if you are watching this in the archives. We did go long. Sorry, I dropped out for a minute, and we did have some technical difficulties at the beginning. But
Yeah, I
Mike,
got a raggedy ass computer.
that's all right. Mike stepped in, and we got to see the O farm. So until next time,
Yeah.
see y'all.